So in this video, I want to talk about how you can get back into the routine of exercising after a long break. So if you're coming over here from Chris Howe's channel, welcome. I'm Dr. Eric St. Thomas. I'm a sports specialist chiropractor here in nearby Toronto. I'm not quite in Toronto. I'm in the surrounding area, the greater Toronto area, if you will. And I make videos about health education, puts out some good exercises, and also I'm a really big kettlebell head, so there's gonna be a lot of kettlebell related stuff on this channel. But regardless, what we're talking about today is how you can get back into the routine of exercise after taking a long break. Now, for me anyways, over the holidays I got a little bit ill, so for roughly about 2 weeks I was a complete bum. Didn't do anything at all. I was just concentrated on just making myself feel better. Now, if you've been in this situation before, you can kind of appreciate how it's a little bit hard to get back into the swing of things because you know what, you've detrained over the last couple of weeks or however long it is, so you're not going to be as strong or have as much endurance as you did before taking that break. Now, there's many reasons why people take a break from exercise. It could be due to, let's say, travel, you're going on vacation, you've been dealing with an injury, you've been ill, whatever. There's so many different reasons. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can get back into that routine. And I know this sounds kind of silly, like, well, don't you just start exercising again, kind of picked up where you left off. So no, you should not pick up where you left off because, one, you'll notice that you're not as strong and don't have as much endurance as you did, so you might get discouraged or frustrated with yourself saying, well, what the heck, I can't do what I'm used to be doing anymore. Screw this, I'm not gonna be bothering with this stuff anyways. So, we don't want that to happen, and it's normal. You're not gonna be as strong or have as much endurance as you did prior to that break. So what you wanna do is make sure you come back gradually, because coming back gradually is the safest way of doing these things. If you had to boil it down to the most basic thing, the reason why people get hurt is because they get a load applied to their tissues that is above the capacity of that tissues to bear said load. So what happens is when you have this sudden spike of increased load, that is when things can go wrong, and that's when you're a little bit more susceptible to injury. So you're saying, okay, great, just start gradually, but where do I even start? Well, that depends. It depends on what your level is. It depends on how long your break was. So if you're like me, you actually have a training log, and you're logging all of your sets, reps, how you're feeling also during that particular training session. So using all of this data that you have in your training log, you can actually do a good job of making sure that you're progressing gradually. What appears to be right now the safest way of gradually increasing load week per week is roughly 10%. And that is 10% of the previous 4 weeks. So this makes it so that everything is a nice gradual increase in load week per week, so that it gives your body enough time to adapt to the new stresses. Now, of course, if you've been off for the last few weeks, those values are going to be much lower now because the average over the last 4 weeks will be much lower. So still taking that into account, just go at that value or 10% more, no more than 10% more. And I only have many interesting backgrounds in my garage. By the way, it is freezing in this garage right now. It's actually warmed up quite a bit. It's like minus 20 this morning in Canada, so it is really ridiculous. Right now it's actually minus 12, feels like minus 21, and the garage, the doors are insulated, but it's still quite chilly, so I can't wait to finish this video so I can go inside and warm up. So like I mentioned earlier, don't feel discouraged the fact that you're not as strong as you used to be before you took your time off. That is fine, that is normal, it's a normal thing that happens to your body. The best thing that you can do is just start gradually increasing the load, get back into the swing of things, and do so in a nice gradual manner, no more than a 10% increase week per week. Now, granted, not everybody has a established training log that they do. Some people just like to go to exercise classes, for instance, and just do whatever the workout of the day is. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, but if you've taken a long time off, you don't want to just hop back into the class that you've normally are used to going to. So what you want to do is at your gym or a studio, wherever you go, if there is class with a difficulty level, 1 or 2 levels below of what you're normally used to, I would recommend going to those for the first week, then go to one step up the week after, then go back to your regular type of class that you go to. Again, this is just to make sure that you do things gradually and safely. So if this video was of value to you, you have a bit more of ideas how to get back into physical activity after you've taken a break. And this is the best way that I know of doing things safely so you don't hurt yourself and don't get discouraged. So if you like this video, I would really appreciate a like. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share with somebody who's been lazy with their physical activity. And we'll see you next time. Take care.